Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports, brought to you by Owen's Mixers. Big shout out to those guys as always. I'm live from Pinehurst. We got the Barstool Classic Championship actually taking place out here right now. We got people on two different courses. We have 218 golfers, I believe the number is, all competing for a championship prize. The boys, I believe, are back in the New York area, so we're a little bit all over the place. Frankie, did you rearrange your pin flags behind you at all?
I've got the new flags that we are offering in the Barstool Sports store. This Foreplay one here. Actually, I don't even know if they're on sale yet. They may not. This might be a Black Friday type deal. So we got this green one, and then all the way in the corner there, we got the transfusion. So I tried to sneak them in there subliminally, but you've now called them out. So yeah, my flags have changed.
Well, when I look at that mug for the last year and a half, we do the show, and then you get used to seeing something. I thought the flag looked a little different back there.
Yep.
I just tried to lean. You said the transfusion one was further down, and I can't see it on the screen, so I tried to lean and look around. Like my field of vision isn't just my field of vision with your camera. I'm a dumb person.
That's a big zoom. That's a classic zoom move there. So
where is it?
Did that work at all? Yeah, no,
didn't work.
Vantage point.
You can't see that? Why do I see more in my?
You know what? I have the boxes that I have on my Zoom view. They're blocking it, so I can actually see it. There's a smaller screen of you that I can see actually, and I can see it through there. My setup's all fucked up.
Yeah, I don't get what you're saying, but that's okay.
I figured.
I see it. I can see it. It looks great. Really, really good. Really nice. How was you guys' weekend? You guys do anything fun, exciting, interesting?
Go ahead, Trent.
I went to a Russian bathhouse.
Yeah, he did.
What?
Dude, I actually forgot. I forgot. When you asked what we did this weekend, I remembered. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Have either of you ever been to a Russian bathhouse?
No.
Never.
Dude, I don't even know where to start. If you guys have any questions, feel free to fire them at me. But
first of all, how dare you? I mean, Trent Ryan went to a Russian bathhouse. Like, you don't even go to the grocery store.
Right. And normally I at the last second, I almost didn't go to the Russian bathhouse because of that very reason, because I was just like, I don't want to do that. I like to sit in my apartment. I like to do nothing. But a couple of guys around the office, Tommy Smokes, Nick, and Chef Donnie, they were going and they were like, you should come with us. And I was like, all right, I'll go. I'll experience it. I've been living in New York for almost 5 years now. Haven't done a thing. I don't go to restaurants.
You went to John Mayer concert by yourself one time.
Right, and even that was early on. I went to John Mayer concert by myself. I went to a Broadway show by myself. Those were early on. And then for the past 3 or 4 years, I've just decided to do nothing. But this bathhouse thing came around, and I was like, fine. I got to start living in New York. So I went. I can't even describe how amazing it was. It's like you're entering a different world. Basically what it is, you get there, you walk down these stairs, and you immediately enter a different world, and there's 5 different rooms that you can go in. There's an infrared sauna, there's a Russian sauna, there's a Schvitz, there's a steam room, and there is a cold room. So those are the 5 rooms that you can go to, and you pretty much just alternate between all the different rooms. And it's like a different sensation in each room. The Russian room is the hottest room. That's the hottest sauna it can get there. The infrared is just a normal your sauna. You've probably been in an infrared sauna. The steam room is a regular steam room. The cold room is freezing cold, but it doesn't feel freezing cold because you go in those after you go in the hot ones. So it just sort of feels like a normal room, but it does cool you down. There's pipes on the walls and they have ice all over them. So it's a freezing cold room. And then there's the Schvitz room, which is my favorite room, which is another hot sauna. But in that sauna, they have buckets around, and there's faucets on the wall that you put the bucket under, you turn it on, and cold water comes out, and you fill up the bucket. And then when you get super hot, you just dump it over your head, and it feels amazing.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
So in what room does the older Russian man jerk you off?
There is none of that. There's none of that.
I thought maybe that happened in the Schvitz.
And no, the Schvitz, you're dumping buckets of water on your head. And then another thing, so you go in the Russian sauna. This is the move, and this is what I learned. You learn a lot when you go. As a first-timer, a couple of the guys that I went with had gone before. They knew what they were doing, which was a godsend, because otherwise I wouldn't know what I was doing. You go in the Russian room for as long as you can stand, and it's hot. It's hot as fuck in that room. And then there's the cold tub that I didn't tell you about. that is just this freezing cold water that you go from the Russian room directly into the cold tub, and it feels like you're going to die, but it also feels amazing.
So you were never disgusted by any of this? Like, you're talking about these hot rooms, cold rooms, sweaty Russian
people
men.
in there.
You're just jumping in cold tubs. Like, who knows when they're cleaning those things out? None of this freaked you out, Trent Ryan?
No, because I'm not a germaphobe. And I decided when I decided to go to the bathhouse that I was going to embrace every element of it. So I wasn't going to turn my nose up at the Russian room or the Schvitz room or the cold tub. I was just going to experience them like a person who wanted to do all those things. And I ended up having one of the best days of my life. So
at no point did you ejaculate during the bathhouse visit?
Not once.
Come on, dude. Really?
That just feels like a connotation of a bathhouse. At some point,
I want you to know that someone there definitely ejaculated.
I don't. Dude, those rooms are so hot it kills all the germs immediately.
I think he's right,
bro. Somebody in your presence ejaculated for sure. But I want to let you know that I like the idea of the different rooms. It almost feels like Crash Bandicoot, where you get to choose the different levels. You're standing in that main level. This could be a very specific and odd callback, but you're standing in the main level, and then you have all these rooms. You can go into the tundra room, and you can go ride the polar bear, or you can go in the hot room and go do the saunas. It's crazy. It feels like Crash Bandicoot.
A couple things. One, we're going on Friday, and you're coming with us. That's not a question. That's a statement. You're coming?
I ain't coming for shit. You think I'm releasing my titties inside the fucking Russian bathhouse?
You just got to pop the top and get in there, all right?
Dude, I'm not exposing my nipples to anyone.
Let me tell you this. I went with Tommy Smokes. It was my first time and it was his first time. Tommy Smokes, for those that don't know, it's a guy we work with, and he's the biggest germaphobe on the planet. He's
a
skittish.
Hypochondriac.
He gets scared. He's a hypochondriac. Germs freak him out. He popped the top. And then you just went right in. He had no reservations about it whatsoever.
Were there any exposed penile, or was it all?
No.
Not one exposed penis. You didn't see one head of a penis.
No.
Come on, dude.
Testicles? No testicles?
And it's a community. It's a respectful community.
What were you about to say? Did you see a pair of nuts?
No, what I was gonna say is it's male female, so it's just everybody's just going in and out. Like nobody's exposing themselves. That's not what it is. And this is only the half of it, dude. The other part of this is that not only does it have all those awesome rooms and you feel like you've entered a new dimension, but there's also a full bar down there. They've got beers, they've got vodka they make in house, they've got fresh pressed juices, they've got snacks. Say
that again. Say that fast.
I couldn't even do it the first time, so I'm not going to do it again. But
fresh pressed juices.
Fresh pressed juices.
Was Hasbulla down there?
No, I wish. But and then there's another. Dude, you wouldn't believe how big this place is. Like
where is it? Where is this place?
I will not be giving the location of this Russian bathhouse
because you don't want people to see you pop the top off.
No, I don't care if people. I don't want people going there.
Okay.
You're
trying to keep it to you.
Right. People listening and who have been there probably know what I'm talking about and where it is. We actually saw a couple stoolies when we were in there. But I don't want to give out the location and have people go in there because this is now my spot, and I will not be giving up any sort of clues.
Is it a pretty intimate experience with the other humans that are in there? Or are you kind of in your own world?
It's somewhat intimate, yeah.
Yeah.
But the guys that I went with, like I said, Tommy, Nick, Chef Donnie, once we were done, it's a great experience for the boys.
Totally. You know? I don't hate this. I'm letting you know I don't hate it. It's just it's mind-blowing that of all people you did it. And then also it's mind-blowing you didn't see the head of a penis or ejaculate anywhere on the floor.
No, when you go with us on Friday, you'll be singing a different tune on this podcast in a week. Because
they have a restaurant there, you said?
They have a restaurant there. Apparently the soup is really good. I didn't eat when I was there, but
they have Russian music playing? Is there Russian music?
No, there's no music playing.
Really?
It's just quiet? You guys are just all sitting there naked, quiet together?
You're not naked, but you are just sitting there because you are. It's hard to describe the feeling of it, where it's when you go in a really hot sauna, it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't feel bad either. It feels like you're doing something. It feels like something's getting done in your body and it's a positive thing. You're sweating out all this shit and clearing out your nostrils.
Wow.
And again, this place is huge. There's a huge swimming pool. There's a jacuzzi.
Wow.
When you go, Frankie, on Friday with us, you're not going to believe the size. You're not going to believe that it exists in New York City. Like and it's pretty affordable. Like I was wondering what the rent is on the place, what the utilities are, but I actually don't care because I'm just glad that it exists and it's something that I've done. We were there for hours.
Did you ever feel like you were going to pass out?
In the steam room, yeah, the steam room fucks me up. But
Wow.
you can just leave. You can just walk out.
How many times you do the bucket thing where you pour the bucket on you?
50 times.
Oh, wow.
Dude, I'm telling you
I thought
also,
would like that.
the fucking going from the Russian room and then into the cold plunge is a sensation that I cannot describe. And Chef Donnie, again, another guy that we work with, he's a crazy person. And
He has a show called Die Trying.
Right, or he skydives.
he's
He
nuts.
does what do you call where the cars crash into each other? Demolition derby type
Demolition,
deals. Like,
yep.
It's crazy shit, and he just goes under the cold plunge water. Like all of us, we stay above it, like keep our nipples above it, keep our hands above it for the most part. He just goes right in, dude. It was fun. It was a really good experience, and I'm glad I did it.
Really good experience is Owen's Mixers as well. So, do yourself a favor. Go to GoPuff, get that stuff brought to you that same day. Use Amazon, get it brought to you the next day. Hey, all kinds of good flavors. We love it. We pour it in. I've been seeing people drinking transfusions here at Pinehurst Resort, throwing our mixer in there. We got the Barstool mixer up at the new halfway house or at the Cradle. They got rid of the pine cone. They built that structure everybody's been talking about they should do forever called the Cradle Crossings.
Dude,
It's
I saw
awesome.
a picture of that thing. It's a legit building that they put
It's
out
like,
there.
yeah, they put up a real building. I was a little bit, like probably most people, a little nostalgic about the pine cone. It's really cool, where you get the drinks. I don't even know what you call the thing, but it's like the wagon that you can drive up there. We actually had it for our shoot with Elwood. The pine cone. So pine cone's really, really cool. I was a little bit nervous. They're going to get rid of that puppy and bring in this structure. It's going to feel a little too. They did a great job with it. It's got like an outdoor brick fireplace. They got 2 fire pits up there. It's got TVs. It's just like a whole new experience that the Cradle Crossings has done, and it is fantastic. But up there, Sheila, shout out to our girl Sheila. Everybody knows Sheila. She slings drinks at the Cradle, but doing it forever. She was pouring transfusions left and right from the Owens mixers, and people were raving about it. I get a lot of folks that come up that have never had it before, trying it for the first time, and love it. So big thanks to Owens for everything that they do. Go support them, owensmixers.com. They got a store locator on the site. You can figure out where this stuff is. Go pick it up. Pour it in with your favorite liquor of choice. Boom, cocktail time. So
I'm gonna see if I can get some Owens mixers at my bathhouse. See if they'll start stocking it.
What kind of vibe was the bar at the Bathhouse? Like, are people, you get like fully clothed then and go to the bar part? Is that like a whole
Nope.
different experience? You're in there with no top on?
It's all one thing. Once you're in there, it's all one deal. So, you pop the top, you put on flip-flops. Frankie, bring flip-flops, you put those on. You have to wear flip-flops, so that's a little cleaner. And then once you're in the area, it's all accessible. You don't have to put your clothes on, you don't have to do anything. You go to the bar, you're in your no shirt, you got a couple towels, you got your shorts on, and you just like, I want a beer. I got a grapefruit juice when I was there. That was very refreshing. So yeah.
How do you pay for it? You have money on you?
They give you this thing on your wrist that has a number on it, and you say, I'm number 54, and they just add it to your tab. And then when you leave, it's all tallied up top, and you pay.
I like that.
That's nice.
I like that. That's probably my favorite part. That's kind of cool. Hey, I'm number 54. So who would love this is Lurch. Lurch would love this place, I feel like.
He probably goes. I figured I'd run into him when I was there. That's
People walking
his
around
type of place.
flip-flops and shit and like just, it's
Dumping
towel
water
time.
on their heads. Neanderthal shit.
Such a
You
good
would just
experience.
love it.
I couldn't have had a more opposite weekend than you. I didn't do any of that relaxing stuff. I'm looking at houses. I'm looking at wedding venues. I have some money, and I'm just looking to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to just get rid of all this money that I have, and it's just not. It's not very fun. So, but it's exciting stuff. It's definitely not walking into bathhouses and sitting in saunas and dumping water on your head. It's like heart pumping. Your heart was going down. Your heart rate was going down. My heart rate was going up.
That's wrong. When you're in those hot saunas, it's do-do. You feel like you're going to die.
So
But it's
not
fun.
Frankie,
relaxing.
how involved are you going to be with this wedding planning situation?
Well, I'll tell you what, we looked at
planner. Are you going to just be a passenger? What
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. But you know what's pretty interesting, what you guys would find interesting? So we went to our first club the other day, and I kind of want to do it at a golf course. So I went to this place, Engineers Club, local golf course here on Long Island. And I was like walking through, I'm like, man, like how am I going to get over the fact that it looks like every golf country club I've ever been to, right? Like we all go and we sit there at like the Glen Oakses. We'll sit there, we'll have breakfast and we get a drink, you get a transfusion, you're sitting there in the clubhouse, and I'm like, how do they turn this into a wedding? Like I just don't, like how am I going to get over that? And then they walk you through, and like on those days, the whole place is transformed. They have ballrooms. It's like, I was like, well, when I golf, I never see this part. You never ever see this part. It's psychotic. Like I could see like Pinehurst like being able to put like an unbelievable wedding, like they'd be able to do one like in those grand ballrooms, but you would like struggle to see how they would like do that experience because you're so used to just like walking through to go get like your scorecard in the pro shop or something. You know what I mean? So like for me, I was very interested to see how it happened, and like where the bridal party goes is like next to the men's locker room, and it's like an upstairs bar overlooking the whole entire golf course. And she's like, yeah, we take all these tables out and you overlook the whole golf course with you and your boys. You can go down and use the locker room and the jacuzzi and the sauna before you get ready. And I'm like, wait a minute, like this upstairs bar that we would just like drink transfusions at is now like a get ready room, and it's a huge space. Like, and then for the girls, they get ready like by the women's locker room and the card room, and they change the whole place. I'm just like, it's crazy. It's also expensive, but it's crazy. It's fucking crazy how they kind of manipulate it to look like a wedding.
I've never thought about the fact that for whatever reason, like golf courses, golf clubhouses do golf and then weddings.
Yeah.
Like, I guess because golf courses are beautiful. That's essentially the reason that people maybe lock them in. But like, aren't they just doing weddings at like with like basketball courts in the background? It's like it's just golf courses. We do golf. They do, like you just said. People go there during the day, get absolutely shit faced, and gamble against each other and play a game where they try to hit the ball 300 yards. And then that night, it just turns into like tuxedos and flowers and shit. And they do a wedding. Doesn't make any sense.
And there was a separate entrance, like, where like you walked in and it felt like a wedding venue. Like there was like a receptionist and bathrooms right there and like little like pamphlets for the. I was just like, are we at a golf? Like I see guys warming up to go play right now. I'm looking at them. They're on the range. So, but that was the first place. So we're gonna keep the search going. So it was fun. It was a fun first time. I mean, you get wowed. I mean, the people that show you around these places are incredible because they wow the fuck out of you, and then they
trying to wine and dine you, right?
They hand you a paper at the end, it's just like, here's what's going to cost, and you're just like, all right, so where's the nearest hospital because I need a defibrillator.
So
how many super expensive?
Trying to give away money.
How many?
I'm just doing all the super expensive things in life.
I was thinking like, what could you do next? I guess you could like try to buy a football team. Like you're just everything you're doing is the most expensive thing in the world. The
house situation's a nightmare. I mean, what's going on Long Island? I think around the whole country right now is just, maybe not the whole country, but definitely the Northeast, where people are just fucking buying houses, man. I don't know where these people are coming from. They're just, the market is insanity. People are buying houses cash. I mean, I lost out on a bid, just cash. Just someone just matched my offer in cash. I'm like, who is this guy? Al Pacino? Like, what's going on? It's fucking crazy. Like, who is this person?
Arizona's like that too. Arizona, the real estate's crazy. It's like you can't. People are putting bids in on houses like 50, 100 grand over the asking price and getting like outbid in 48 hours by somebody. That's just like what system are you guys going by? The system is the one that I'm trying to do. Like normal people are doing this system. Who are these psychopaths coming in offering outrageous amount of money? Like stick to the system. We all just pay less money. It doesn't make any sense.
They're doing no inspections, no appraisal, obviously, because they're not going through a bank. And they're just buying these things like they're shopping online for like a new pair of Jordans. I mean, we're talking massive houses for massive amounts of prices. And they're not even looking at them. They're just like, yeah, I'll take that one. Does that thing come in yellow? It's just like, what's going on? What's happening? So yeah, hey, if you're listening to this and you haven't put your house on market, you slide in my DMs because this is gonna start getting nasty around here. I need to start going into the black market. I need to start talking to the right people because I can't just be a schlub showing up to the open house. These open houses have lines down the block. You're sitting there with the pamphlet. I'm like, I'm not getting this fucking house. There's 1,000 people in front of me.
These conversations are very helpful to a guy like me because like right now in my life, what I got going on is that I can't figure out how to decorate my apartment. I don't know what to put on the walls. I can't commit to anything. I'm the most indecisive person in all aspects of life, but certainly in what I'm going to put up on my walls. And then I come on this podcast and Frankie is just dealing with such more real problems than I am having that I take a deep breath and I'll just throw something on the wall and it won't be that big a deal.
See, I've been stressing about it, but then at the end of the day, like I was thinking, man, you're doing all this. It's so much money. It's all these things. But then, like, you get a house and a wedding, right? Like, you're getting, like, so, like, I was almost thinking, like, I'm doing all this preparation, and then it's just gone. Like, you don't actually get the stuff. Yeah, it's really stressful, but then you get a house. Then you have a house.
The wedding is harder to wrap my brain around, where it's like, it just happens. Like, I get that you have memories and you have pictures, and then the house, you're going to be there for a very, very long time. A wedding is like, there's all this build up, all this money, all this planning, and it's like, for a couple hours, and then it's gone. But I get it.
Yeah. But it's like you just got to do it. You got like
totally.
Dave Portnoy come in. Like you don't think I've been thinking about that? Like how nice this place has to be. I mean, it's like it's got to be a fucking top tier type of deal here. I mean, we can't just be fucking eating cheeses in the back of a 7-Eleven. This has got to be we got to be dressed to the nines. I mean, it's a big wig type event.
Yeah, weddings are one of the craziest phenomena in the world. Like you do.
We've all just accepted it, Riggs. It's unfortunate. We've all just
it's crazy. It doesn't
right because, and I know it's not realistic, but there is the option to not do it. Like you could not do it, and I understand that like that's not actually a possibility. But you could just be like, "You want to get married? Yeah, let's do it. Go to a courthouse, do it, and then it's over." But you have to
a ton of money.
Right, you save a ton of money, but society has decided that like, no, the family's got to get together, your friends and family got to come. It's got to be this big deal. But it's like there is the option to not, but it's not a real option.
You don't want to be that guy in the community that didn't do a wedding. Everyone's that's that loser that couldn't pay for a wedding.
And you want to know why? Because at one point we're gonna be in the ground, dude. Like I drove past the cemetery the other day, and I'm like, I'm gonna be there one day. That was fucking weird. I was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking be in that ground with all those fucking plaques. So like at the end of the day, man, let's just fucking do it. You can't take that money with you.
It's all temporary. It's
all temporary, man. We're just renting. We are renting.
Even when you buy, you're just renting.
Yep.
But it's yours
renting on this earth
for that time.
Our lives are not ours. It's the Earth's, man. That Earth is taking us.
It's coming for us.
Yeah, man.
We're just renting. I'm trying to wrap my brain around that.
Even if you buy, you're just renting.
Like we're spending money to just live here until our time is over. Like we're just giving it all away and then we're just gone. You don't get to keep it with you. It's not yours. That house I buy is not mine.
That house you buy
it's the
has
Earth.
Been bought by yours as well. Those houses have been owned by other people. They're just gone.
Yep. It's over, dude. It's absolutely over.
It's all temporary.
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where people live forever?
Yeah. I think that we'll get to a point where people live significantly longer, and then I think there'll be some crazy controversy around that. Like some fucking the next Jeff Bezos, two Jeff Bezoses from now will figure out a way to live until he's like 350, and everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck? Why do you get to do that? And like, Mima doesn't get to do that. You know what I mean?
I mean, there'll definitely be controversy. We can't figure out the easy stuff now. We can't figure out simple stuff now. If you start talking about people being like, we can live 200 years longer, but only a certain amount of people can. Yeah, there's going to be controversy around that. And I think we're pretty far away from that, though.
I think that like individual people will figure out how to live longer, like those multi-billionaire trillionaires, but they'll never, ever. I don't know if we'll ever get over the fact that like big medicine's going to stop allowing people to, like, they're not going to cure anything is my point. It's just too big of it's what makes the world go around. Unfortunately, it's where all this money goes, is all these fucking, they can't cure this shit. They're not going to cure cancer. They probably could do it right now. These are very hot takes that I find on YouTube, but I'm just saying like I just can't see that happening. I can't see everyone just not dying from disease it's just never going to happen.
Well, also population is already starting to become a problem anyway.
Right.
Where it's like,
there's no way, dude. There's people still going to trip and fall in front of a fucking bus. You know what I mean? It's just going to happen. You're not going to live forever. You can't.
Buy that house. Do that wedding. Do it all.
Just do it. Send it.
I need the black market. If someone like the depths of Reddit that like knows knows when these things are happening, like these houses are going on sale, I need you to reach out to me.
Would you buy a house that someone's been murdered in?
Depends on the house.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
You would?
I don't know though, dude. I think I'd always think about, here's what, like if I knew where it happened, that'd be a problem.
I'm just not a ghost guy, so I don't think I would
picture
care.
just like a guy getting shot or maybe like slaughtered in like that spot. Like you're sitting there watching Sunday football and you're just like, yeah, this dude just bled out right here on the floor right now.
I'm not a ghost guy either.
I prefer a home where somebody didn't get murdered for sure, but I think I could do it.
I'm not a ghost guy either, but I am a vibes guy. So vibes go a long way, and murder vibes are bad vibes.
Plus, you say you're not a ghost guy, but the first time like that light flickers, you're like, well, that's the fucking guy that got fucking slaughtered right here. You know what I mean?
True.
John's back. Fucking John's back.
Everything's temporary except John. John lives in this house forever.
Yep. Well,
that motherfucker's permanent.
A fucking cabinet creaks, you're like, fucking John's back.
That'd be a funny joke until it's not, until you go crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Blue Nile. All right, we're talking about speaking of spending money, things that you got to check. You got to check the boxes, check the list. Gifts. It's becoming that time of year. Blue Nile. Whether you're customizing an engagement ring, shout out to Frankie, designing diamond stud earrings. BlueNile.com. You are in control. You can build a more brilliant piece at a price that you won't find a traditional jeweler, which is great. Whether you're ready to pop the question or mark a special occasion, find jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Never settle. BlueNile.com. You can choose from more than 200,000 ethically sourced, GIA graded diamonds in every shape and size with an endless selection of settings to help you create the ring, earrings, or pendant that they will absolutely love. So do yourself a favor. Go check out Blue Nile. You go to BlueNile.com. You can make the moments matter with jewelry from BlueNile.com. Foreplay listeners get $50 off $500. This podcast exclusive offer includes engagement rings. So use the code FORE. That is code FORE, F-O-R-E. Every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. That's BlueNile.com. Use the code FORE. Barstool Classic Championship. So we did 27 stops throughout the year. We had 4 teams from each venue advances to the championship. That's why I believe we are at 218 golfers. We have a few exemptions from teams that have won over the years. If you win, I believe you get a 2-year exemption into the championship. So we got a few more than just the qualifying teams. But we did a little Cradle Cup yesterday, little soft entrance into the week. Nice little fun 2-man, 2-person scramble, slap it around. One team shot 8 under and won by a stroke on 9 holes. That's pretty good. 8 birdies, 9 holes. Good. Pretty damn good. And then today, so a lot of people have been asking about the format. So today, everyone's playing, half the field's playing course number 4, half the field's playing course number 1, and then they'll flip and play the other course tomorrow. Cumulative score, we'll do about the top 40% of teams will make the cut, advance to Wednesday, and play Pinehurst number 2 for $10,000. We got Jermaine Curse is here. He qualified from the Seattle stop. We didn't even know he was playing in Seattle. He just showed up, was just on the sheet. We're looking at the sheet like the night before. And I was like, this is Jermaine Curse. Like, what? What's going on here? Super nice guy. Played the Cradle with him yesterday. Him and his partner, I think they got a pretty good shot. Our guy, Zach, hit social media Zach, who does all of our social, does a bunch of KFC radio stuff. His brother's here. His brother almost won the mid-amateur. So his brother lost, I believe, in the semis. And Stu Hagestad, friend of the program, we've had on a couple times, he ended up winning the mid-amateur. But Zach, his brother's here. And like I said, he's playing he has a good shot to win. I think he's a really good player. We have a plus 6.5 in the field.
What?
So that's kind of fucked with all the handicaps. I can't remember which qualifier, but plus 6.5 actual handicap index, and everybody's stroking off of that person. We do 50%, so they're not getting as many strokes as it could be a little bit preposterous, but everybody's getting a good amount. Like we got a plus 3 handicap is getting like 2 or 3 shots because this guy is a plus 6.5. So there's some serious golfers here.
Plus 6.5 is like, isn't that what Tiger's fucking
is that a PGA Tour player that is like pretending to not be a PGA Tour player? Who is it?
How much better can you get than a plus 6.5?
I want to say I believe the backstory is a Corn Ferry Tour player. Like either is playing there, has played there. So basically, yeah, a PGA Tour player essentially is playing. Because I think anytime you play with like kids or those guys, they basically play as a +5. Like Kiz, Homa, Pat, like if anybody's just slapdicking it around with them playing a little match, they always play as like a +5. So this guy's playing as a stroke and a half better than that.
Speaking of Corn Ferry, this will be a callback to last show when we talked about how the major sports leagues will not get a sponsor. I stand by that. I'm sure you guys have gotten just as many DMs and tweets about how the Corn Ferry Tour is sponsored by Corn Ferry. And
that was a big one that we missed.
Here's the big one that we missed. The Barclays Premier League. Sure, I don't give a fuck about soccer or the Corn Ferry Tour. My point was MLB, NFL, NHL, and NBA will not get sponsored. They can't. It just won't happen. What are you going to name it? The Coca-Cola National Basketball Association? Come on now. It's not going to happen.
All the NASCAR tours or whatever circuits, whatever they're called, they're all named after brands. I think you're right, but it's possible.
I don't like it. I don't want it to go that way.
Like MLB, like let's say it was like Coca-Cola Major League Baseball. Would they say CMLB or would it always be MLB? And then like just for corporate stuff, they would call it the Coca-Cola Major League Baseball. So it doesn't even make sense.
It's hard to...
It's stupid. I completely agree. It's stupid. I don't like it. It doesn't sound. But I feel like if any tours, any leagues have gone that way, which they clearly have, then it's just a matter of time until they all do. I think it might be a while. It might be different, but I think eventually, eventually the U.S. Open will have a title sponsor. I think like the MLB, the NHL, I think they'll have a title sponsor, and I think it's just inevitable. I don't know that it's going to be relatively soon, but I think, again, if the other leagues, if Corn Ferry, if Barclays, all that are doing it, then eventually they're just going to get offered a number that they can't say no to, I think.
I'll concede that they may change like the championships, right? Like I could see them saying like the fucking Bridgestone World Series or some stupid shit like that. But I just can't, you can't change MLB. You're not changing that. You're not changing NFL.
Right. Like what would that number even look like for the brand going to a league like that? Like the leagues themselves, the NFL in particular, they are worth so much money and they print money to the point where I don't even think any of these brands could offer a deal where it would make any sort of sense at all.
I mean, I'm going to say the Premier League, England's top flight has agreed to a $40.5 million deal to renew its partnership with the financial company Barclays, which ended in 2016. So that was in 2018. So $40.5 million deal. That does not seem like that much.
Wait.
$40.5 million for the title of the Premier League?
Now, I don't know if that's per year, because that would be significant.
I thought that would be a significantly higher number. I agree with you. That seems really low. But, yeah, I guess if it's per year, that's pretty good. $40 million a year.
The NFL's never doing it. The NFL, like, that league, the only thing that'll bring that down is the concussion type deal. But other than that, like the NFL is the number one sport here and they just print money. MLB, I feel like they got to a point where they were so like, they're so local and they're like, that's where their fan bases are that maybe at a certain point, but like even still, like I just can't picture it.
The Premier League, this was a 2018. The Premier League makes $6.4 billion in domestic TV revenue over the course of 3-year cycle. And they're taking fucking Barclays $40 million to throw on. Like, that just seems so stupid to me. You make $6.4 billion and you're going to take $40 million to change the name of your league? I just don't think the NFL is ever going to do that.
But look at how easy it is. You don't actually have to even do anything. You're not like inventing anything new. You literally just go, oh yeah, we'll just throw that name on our thing.
It's called
and
integrity.
They give you $40 million.
It's called integrity and history, and it's just about keeping a constant in life.
If somebody, we would just sell out, right? Like if somebody was like, you have to change the name of Foreplay to,
oh my god, yeah, there's no history element to this fucking show. There wasn't some late great podcaster that we took over and like we have to take over his name and we have to make sure that his voice goes on for generations. No fucking chance.
$5,000. Yeah, and I'm over. $5,000 and you can have everything I own.
Change it immediately.
Get me that.
I'll change my own name. I'll just be Owen. You should call me Owen Mixer.
Just pay for that extra hour that they're offering me at that wedding venue the other day for $5,500 for. Oh my god.
All right. Golf. So first, I want to do a little callback to Kenny G. I just want to give a shout out to that guy. Best. It's nice when you think that the interview and the guy it went really, really well and that everybody's going to love it, and then the reaction to it stacks up and matches that, because I saw a bunch of tweets. So if people have not caught last Thursday's show, we had Kenny G, world-renowned saxophonist, on the show. Again, we kind of debriefed afterwards because it was such a whirlwind after how cool that motherfucking guy was. But this was our booking team basically sent us this option. It was like, would you be interested in having Kenny G, the saxophonist, on the show? We were like, yeah, sure. Not a ton of expectations, which we discussed at the beginning of last show. Just not really sure. Didn't know a ton about him. Obviously, I heard Kenny G, and you know that he's the saxophone guy, but in the hair. But I didn't know anything else. And then he just delivers and was, I would say, up there with Butch Harmon, in my opinion. As and there's been Greg Norman was really good when he was on. There's been some really, really good ones. Kiz is obviously always phenomenal, but he comes on all the time. Kenny G, I think, is Hall of Fame status on our podcast now.
He really is, man. And we need more time with him, because then he'll be at that. Like Butch Harmon was incredible because we had like an hour with him where he could tell all those stories, and everything he was saying was all. It just hit us so hard because it was the guys that we love to hear stories about, right? Like Dustin Johnson and all that stuff, and Tiger Woods. And for us to hear Kenny G talk about Tiger Woods and in the future now Phil Mickelson and all the guys that he's played with, like that's what makes him such a good guest. He's such a good storyteller. And we could listen to him talk for fucking hours. I'm not saying that the other people aren't as good guests, right? Like fucking Bert Kreischer was just on the last week and he was one of our favorite guests ever also. But he doesn't have like those stories that Kenny G for some reason has like the best golf stories in the history of the planet. Like you just can't compete with him.
Well, and it's a lot of it is expectations, sort of like what Riggs is saying. Like with Butch Harmon, the expectations were through the roof. Like this is fucking Butch, man. Like he's been around forever. He's got all these stories. He's worked with all the greats. And then with Kenny G, we knew nothing. I knew nothing about what he was going to talk about, whether or not he was even a big golfer or not. Like I wasn't sure. So then when he exceeds those extremely low expectations, it was amazing. The whole interview was incredible. And like Frankie's saying, we need more time with him because he definitely has a million more stories to tell.
Did you guys go back and listen to Miracles?
Yeah.
How good is that fucking Christmas album, man?
It's fucking great.
I haven't.
It's fucking great. It's all the classics.
It's the classics. Like you listen to it and you're like, holy shit, I've heard this in every single like store I've ever gone into. It's just, it's the Christmas season. That album is the Christmas season.
I gotta go listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet. I might put it on the way to the course when I go back over there.
You should.
Get that puppy going. Get all fired up. There's some Christmas spirit around here in North Carolina.
Well, Pinehurst does it right.
They get the lights. They got the what do you call it? The wrap around the
wreath.
Pillars.
No,
the wreath around.
Is that what it's called?
They do have wreaths. They have wreaths up too, but they have the vine. What is it?
Garland.
Oh, garland.
They have garland in the Carolina Hotel on all those pillars that they have throughout there, and they're all perfectly and identically wrapped in that with like the lights, and you can just see them endlessly. You walk in, it's a Christmas cheer is all about. You got Barry and the whole squad up there that they give you the whole welcome home spiel. You walk in, it smells like Christmas, it looks like Christmas, and then they might even have like Kenny G might be the one that they're playing through the fucking hotel when you walk through. Like that's
most likely
that's our guy. That's what
most
he does. So yeah, here in the South, they get into Christmas a little earlier, I would say, than clearly in Arizona and probably in New York. What's the temperature like in New York right now? Is it cold up there?
We got one hell of a storm 2 days ago.
Oh my god!
On Saturday, where it just ripped right through here, and it brought in some cold weather. I mean, it changed fast, man. Dude, there was a storm that ripped through here. 2 tornadoes touched down on Long Island. And it literally was a 5-minute storm. Like, I was watching News 12, and they're like, all right, if you're in Massapequa, it's coming in 2 minutes. So, like, go downstairs and, like, get away from windows. And all of a sudden, it came fucking coming through like a fucking racehorse, man. It was crazy. The winds were howling, the lightning was hitting the ground, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Yep. We got the same thing in Manhattan. Maybe lasted 8 minutes. And it was torrential. And also there was a little bit of hail in it as well.
Hail,
so it was just pounding. But it only it lasted less than 10 minutes. And it was very bizarre. But right now in New York, it's 43 degrees. It's starting to cool down. Yeah.
That's a big St. Louis winter type storm, or St. Louis summer type storm. Those come through in the afternoon, like almost every day in the summer, or maybe every other day. And the storm will literally be between like 10 and 30 minutes maybe, and they will be violent and aggressive, and it's fucking lightning, and there's tornado warnings all over the place, and then it's just gone. And then for the evening, it's just fine outside.
Yeah. It was stunning. And then looking up, like knowing that it was coming, you look up at the sky and the clouds are moving 1,000 miles an hour. You're like, holy shit, this thing is coming. We don't get many storms like that on Long Island, so it felt pretty cool. Like the fucking meteorologist was coming himself, going crazy, being like he was looking at his phone for updates. He's like, I think a tornado's gonna touch down in Elmont. He's going crazy, like.
Yeah, it doesn't storm much in Manhattan. That's a surprising thing that now that I've lived here for a few years.
True.
Like in the Midwest, it storms all the time. Like you get big storms pretty consistently. In Manhattan, never happens. I don't understand why, but that one on, I think it was Saturday, that was one of the most intense that I've seen for sure.
One of my favorite storylines that I saw in Twitter in a long time was former PGA Tour rules director Slugger White is joining the Live Golf as VP of Rules and Competition Management. So he is joining the the Greg Norman Golf League. He retired for the PGA Tour after, I believe, 40 years. I think he was the head rule. Yeah, he was at the PGA Tour for 40 years as their head rules guy. Cowboy hat, the boots. He drives around in the cart all the time. Slugger White, the GOAT. He retired and he's joining Greg Norman's role as the VP of Rules and Competition Management. It almost makes me. It feels like this is becoming like a WWE type thing with like fucking Greg Norman's a commissioner. They got Slugger White in there. He's gonna be driving around in the golf cart. So yeah, Slugger White, he ain't gone. He ain't done yet, boys and girls.
That's a massive acquisition. Massive. Because I think like players probably respect him from being out there for all those years. Like he's just such a name on the player side where it's like, oh fuck, Slugger White's going over there. Also, Slugger taking the bag is so Slugger, it's crazy. They hit Slugger with just a pound of cash and he's like, yep, see you over there.
the fastest pickup and recruit in the history of anything is basically Slugger White being thrown a bunch of money and just signing up immediately. He'll go anywhere. He'll move to Saudi Arabia. He doesn't care.
I got a DM from a guy. I don't know if he sent you guys this, but he claims to know a lot about like the Saudi money backing. And he's like, his dad was involved over there with the money and like he lives over here. And he was telling me that this was like 2 weeks ago a week ago, right when we talked about it, to not be surprised when more names start going over, like that he had heard from some people over there in Saudi Arabia and stuff that like they were really throwing money at people. He said he like threw out fucking like Gary Player, you know what I mean? Like all like these names of like guys that are really going to start going over there and start promoting this. And now Slugger White, like that just made me think that this guy was right.
But it's these are all due respect to Slugger and especially Gary Player, who we love. But these are all at this point in time, they're secondary characters, right? Like those people. Take Gary Player out of it. Slugger White, he was like this thing that just popped up out of nowhere because he was the rules official for the PGA Tour. And he would show up and you'd be like, holy shit, there's Slugger White. But he's not the main attraction. Like, he's not going to like move the needle in the way that you need the big players. So then when you see a Slugger White, he's just like, oh, he's a fun like side character. He can't be the main guy.
They need some main characters. I agree. But I think they're going to get some. I don't know who it's going to be. And again, Gary Player is our guy. I say this with all due respect, but our friend Gary Player, he jumps at that cash instantly. That he's in my opinion, Mr. Player he's in Saudi Arabia in a heartbeat. I don't think he cares. You throw cash at that guy. Plus, like Trent's saying, I mean, they're recruiting potentially, an 85-year-old guy to be part of the tour. I mean,
well, also
again, the whole thing is very funny. It's actually, if you remove yourself from a lot of the bad ethics behind it, and you just look at it from a comedic lens, the whole operation is pretty fucking funny that they're doing.
And also, if you're Slugger White, nobody cares about the morality of Slugger White. Like if you throw Slugger White's name in a headline like Slugger White accepts live Saudi-backed money, 99.9% of the country is going to be like, who is that and what is that? I don't care. It's not like Dustin Johnson takes live money. Like that's a whole different thing. Slugger White, he's probably just like, yeah, I'll take it. Nobody's going to give a fuck that I'm taking this money. It's not going to make any headlines. It's going to make headlines on this show, but nobody's going to actually care. If I'm Slugger White, I'd take that money in a heartbeat, and I'm glad that he did.
You just got to give Slugger White a rocking chair, a pimento cheese sandwich, and a sweet tea, and just fucking give him the bag, and he's going. He doesn't care where it is. He doesn't care if people being beheaded left or right. He doesn't give a shit about morals. He's just fucking there.
I don't know if we've had this conversation or not, but who do you think might go? A main character. What's the most likely, like 2 or 3 names who you think might actually take the money? Actually do it.
Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, DJ's up there, I think, for sure.
But isn't there now a stipulation with the PGA Tour where you get suspended or you can't play in both events?
I don't think DJ gives a fuck.
No, I don't think so either, but I believe the tour has basically banned people from playing. Like, if you play there, you're banned from the PGA Tour, I think. I don't know for how long, but I think they've come out and said that. I want to say said that maybe 6 months or a year ago. My aunt said that, but again, it would be really interesting. Like, if Dustin Johnson actually comes out, says he's agreeing to play, will the PGA Tour really not let Dustin Johnson play in their events? Really?
I think they won't. I think it'll get real serious real fast. I'm trying to look up the world golf rankings because I don't see Dustin Johnson is a big fish. I would be stunned if he actually did it.
Patrick Reed, again, he's not
God,
Dustin
I could see
Johnson
that in a
level.
heartbeat.
Patrick Reed's going over there in 1 second. He'll be over there playing. Looking at this, Bryson. Like, do you think Bryson would play?
Damn, you guys are listing big names. I was not thinking anyone in the top 10 would go right now.
Here's the thing. I'm thinking of people who wouldn't go.
They have to try to get him.
For sure. And I'm like we talked about when Greg Norman, when that story broke, I'm sure they went to Tiger and were like, here's what we would give you if you want to be the commissioner of this league. I'm not saying they're not going to try to get these guys. I'm saying who is going to put pen to paper and say, I am going to this live golf league.
It's DJ. I just started a yawn cycle there.
Yeah, you did.
That's tough. I would say Dustin Johnson. If you talk to him and be like, "Hey man, you can't play in this fucking event in like California next year," like I don't know, he's gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. Like I just made $100 million. Like I'm done. He's done.
But you know
Dustin Johnson's done grinding. I think like he's just like whatever, dude. Just give me money.
He might think that way, but his sponsors will step in and say, "Listen,
what sponsors, dude? If they pay him enough money, he's not going to need sponsors." See you later.
You say he's going to abandon his like marketability,
a couple million from each fucking golf company. Yeah, if they're paying him, what they're saying they're going to pay these guys, they don't need their sponsors anymore. They don't wear little logos on their hats anymore. They're just going to be making millions and millions of dollars just to show up.
Well, you also become a non-factor publicly because I don't know what the broadcasting rights are for this new league. Like you become a guy who we can only find your results online.
They're going to be like, hey, dude, you're going to make a guaranteed $35 million this year. So get the little net jets off your shirt and just come here and play some golf. And that's it. It doesn't matter how you do or what you do. You're just going to make cash.
And your records don't matter anymore. Like if you win over there, it's not going to count towards, like a PGA Tour number of victories. That's got to be in the back of some guys' minds.
It will be. It's in the back of my mind. I don't want guys to go there. I'm just saying, I think a guy like DJ, who's like kind of like, he's given this game a lot already. This guy's been grinding like crazy. If they throw him a huge chunk of money, I can see him going over there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then to counter that, I would say like Rory McIlroy, I could see never going over there or never even considering going over there because I think he cares a lot more about the image, his place in history, his legacy, all of those things. I don't know that Dustin Johnson really cares at all. I do know that we care about Boll Branch, which I know Frankie's a huge Boll Branch guy. Boll Branch makes phenomenal sheets that make your life basically, which is a huge part of your life. I believe you sleep, 30-something% of your life? Isn't that what we came up with one time?
A third. If you get 8 hours a night, you sleep a third of your life away.
So, we're talking, if you live to 80, right? You're getting 25, 30 years worth of sleep.
It's an unfortunate number. And I will say for Boll Branch, I have their sheets and their pillow covers on my bed. One of the things I'm looking forward to the most is when I get this house, whenever I do get the house, reminder to reach out to me if you're on Long Island, specifically South Shore area, North Shore area, in the central, right? We're talking Massapequa Park, we're talking Wanta, we're talking Dix Hills, we're talking that Huntington, that whole area. So I want to be able to put, I threw it all out there. I want to put every bed in that house with Boll Branch, and I want to watch guests and people that come to stay with me. I want to watch their reactions of how much of a difference these sheets make for your sleeping experience. Like, it's hard to just talk about it on a podcast and verbally tell you guys the difference it makes. It makes a difference. It makes you sleep harder and longer. It's the weird. Trent, you agree? You put them on your bed.
Oh yeah.
There's something about the softness. It's like they have like some perfume on there that like puts like a potion that puts you to sleep. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I put them on about a month ago, and it's probably been the best month of sleep that I've had. Just something about like, I didn't really care what sheets I had before. It was just like, oh, I found these sheets. They fit my bed. I'm going to put them on there. When you actually care about what sheets you put on your bed, it makes all the difference. They're softer. They're more comfortable. You sleep better. It's a game changer.
Look, man, going to bed is, in my opinion, the single best part of pretty much every day that you have as a person. Getting your gear down, you brush your teeth, you get ready, whatever your process is. And then when you just slip into those sheets and all you have to do for the next 8 hours is just lay there. Maybe you watch a show, maybe fire something up. That experience being the best that it could possibly be is insanely important, and Boll Branch does it better than anybody. You should treat yourself and your loved ones to a new standard in bedding from Boll Branch. Their gifts come wrapped and ready in their special holiday packaging. If you order by December 19th, you will have guaranteed delivery for Christmas. We love Christmas. Best deals of the year going on now from November 18th until November 22nd with the promo code FORE. FORE at bollandbranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com. Promo code FORE. Again, that's the 18th of November through the 22nd of November. That's when their best deals are going. Exclusions may apply. Use the code FORE. Go to bollandbranch.com. Rory's one that I could see just like never really going over there. Like Justin Thomas. I feel like Justin Thomas probably wouldn't go over there.
Jordan Spieth.
Sergio. I bet Sergio goes.
Is Saudi Arabia where he had the bunker incident where he was slamming his club around in the bunker like a crazy person?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I could see Sergio going for sure.
He might be banned.
No, but he's a name. I think he's like a gettable name to me for them.
Gotcha. So you don't think they could quite get the DJs?
No. I do. I really think that you just tarnish. I don't know if tarnish is the right word. You definitely tarnish something, but like DJ's still young enough where he can still dominate and make a shit ton of money on the PGA Tour. And I understand what you're saying, that if they just go over there and they sign it and they immediately give you a ton of money, but DJ's still got a lot left to do on the tour. I think Sergio is just like, I'd love a check. Give me money. I'm not like in my prime anymore. Like, just give me the money.
Dude, it was rumored that they offered Ricky Fowler $150 million over the course of like 5 years or something. I mean,
so that's ridiculous.
That's how much Dave Portnoy is worth. Like, he's built Barstool. He's done all that he's done. He's worth that much, and they're just Saudi Arabia calls you and just like, hey, come on over to the desert for 5 years, play a little golf around the world, not even the desert, but around the world, and you'll deal with a little negative PR, and you'll get, your sponsors, you're not going to have a cool little fucking logo on your t-shirt, but guess what? You're going to give you $150 million.
Ricky Fowler has to win every tournament he ever plays in for the next 15 years to make $150 million. Like, this guy's grinding to make cuts, and he's making like 200, 300 grand. He's like, he's making all endorsement money when he's not winning. So it's like, you don't think this guy's going to go take 150 mil? The only problem is they're not going to get one or two guys. You got to get a boatload of guys. Like, you're not just like, oh yeah, we got Sergio. What is he? He's just going to play by himself?
I know.
You got to get like 10 to 15 guys.
Yeah, and who knows if those numbers are real, right? That was just like a report, 150 million. But yeah, if they are recruiting Slugger White and they're recruiting Greg Norman, clearly they believe there's some sort of future going, and to the point where the PGA Tour has now had to respond. Our guy Eamon Lynch wrote a piece about the PGA Tour offering up now these guaranteed money events for top stars. Team format is possible. It says the PGA Tour plans to create a series of lucrative international tournaments that will offer guaranteed money to the world's best players, Golf Week can reveal. The tour intends to stage between 4 and 6 events annually outside of the United States, in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. The series will begin in the fall 2023 at the earliest, though possibly not until 2024. Details of the plan were confirmed to Golf Week by an industry executive familiar with the ongoing situation. So point is, clearly the PGA Tour is a little bit threatened by this whole league, to the point where they're basically just offering up something kind of similar for their players. So the whole thing's pretty fucking real, I guess.
Right, and that's one of the reasons you can point to and say why it's a good thing, because it will motivate the PGA Tour to adapt and try to do new things. We've talked about that before, but a competing league, a serious competing league that they are worried about, that's going to motivate them to do different types of events. If I were them, they're saying 2023, 2024. I think you try to implement them as soon as possible. Like we're at a place now where you just got to start doing cool shit.
Yeah, if you're the players of the PGA Tour, this is your one and only opportunity to have any sort of leverage with the PGA Tour. Like, because prior to this, there was no other option, right? They could do whatever the fuck they want and say, you're going to make X amount of dollars and that's it. Now they can say, hey, I'm thinking about going over here to Saudi Arabia. Like, you guys better start giving us some more money or else I'm gone. Like, this is the first time that these guys have had leverage, and I guarantee guys are using it. There's no way they're not. There's text messages being thrown around between executives and players. I could even see fucking Rory McIlroy, even though we said he loves PGA Tour, he loves the history, he loves his reputation. I could see him being like, you guys need to figure this out or else we're going to lose people. Like he could be the voice of the players saying, we have to make more money or else they're going to go.
That's just smart business
happening. Yeah, it is smart business. And it's a fucking blessing for these guys to make more money. Like, these guys have to be so happy.
Joel Damon had a great quote, I believe like a week or so ago, where he basically said like, yeah, the top guys don't get paid enough in the PGA Tour. And his point was simply that like, he actually said nobody goes and buys tickets to go watch me play, which I do think he's potentially a little bit wrong about. People do like to go watch Joel Damon, but he's overall right, where he's like, the whole entire PGA Tour is basically like 10 or 15 guys. I mean, the draw, right? Like, nobody's going for almost anyone outside of the names that we've dropped so far on this show. Like, once you get down to 15 or 20, like, people are not buying tickets, tuning in, changing the channel, changing from football, whatever, to go watch
Webb Simpson.
Webb Simpson does take a lot of ricochet shots in this show, but you're 100% correct.
There might be guys that make people actually change the channel. There might be 5 guys.
Yeah.
Rory. Yep.
Rory McIlroy. Jordan Spieth.
Tiger Woods.
Phil Mickelson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if Rahm or DJ's on that list.
I was thinking Rahm, but he's like the golfer's golf. Like, people love him because he's so dominant, but I don't know if the general public is that into it.
Bryson?
Has to be Bryson.
I'd put him on there. That's
is
5.
JT on that list? I don't know if he is.
God. I think JT, even though I love JT, I think he's like, you look at Twitter, you're like, oh, JT's winning. Like, You know what I mean? Because it's just so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's pretty common. It's just
it
common.
seems so normal for him to win, and it's not electric. It's not like it's almost like he's so. It's so normal to watch him win, even though he doesn't win that much. For some reason in my brain, I'm like, oh yeah, JT's just gonna win that tournament. And it's not like he has 35 fucking PGA Tour wins. Like I don't know why I feel that way.
I know what you mean. He does have a good amount, but he also it was weird because he had the 1 year or whatever it was, 2017 or when he went crazy and he was shooting 59s, winning majors, shot the 63 at Erin Hills with the eagle on the 18th hole. Like he was doing the whole thing. But then I would say he's like consistently sprinkled in wins. He just feels like when you start to think like, oh yeah, what's really happened to JT? He pops up and he just fucking wins. And you're like, oh, okay, like he won the Players. So I'm with you where I don't know that I would change it because it's so commonplace that JT would be in the mix or potentially leading a golf tournament. But man, I'm going through these names. There's almost nobody. That's Trent's right. Like Louis Oosthuizen, come on.
No. You know
Victor
who now,
Hovland.
because of like what's happened to him, is Ricky. I would change to see Ricky. Like if he's going to win, I would definitely change the channel. I think a lot of people
Spieth
would.
too because of the comeback.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with both of those. And again, like all these other guys, nobody's saying we don't like those guys. Like they're great, but it's very, very tough to draw the attention in golf of the overall general like sports fan, which is exactly what Joel's point is, which is exactly what our point is about this whole fucking Super League, where unless they get big names that draw people, you basically are going to have nothing. And if they're going to be throwing $200 million, $500 million, $1 billion at this thing, and then they don't get something that's in any way interesting or we wouldn't even consider to change the fucking channel, then how are they going to, like, what are they doing? They're just wasting $200 million? You can't do that.
I think I'd cut off the tip of my pinky to know the details of Slugger White's contract. I just want to know what those numbers are.
Me too. Like,
we'll never know, but it's like, it's got to be a huge, like a number that you can't even think about for Slugger White. Because they're just like, we need it.
Like, you think it's like $1 million a year?
It has to be. It has to be. It has to be.
I mean, he's a rules official. Like,
this is what I mean.
What are we doing here?
This is how badly I want to know, because it could be over $1 million a year. Who knows?
I think Slugger White is big for like he's one of those players guys. Like he's more than just a rules official. He's like I don't know. It's just he's a name and a guy that the players probably like to interact with. See, he's a comfortable guy to be around for them. They like having him out there probably for the rules. It's just there's something about him that I think draws guys. Like it's more than just him knowing the rules.
I agree with that. And he's Slugger White, right? Like he's an icon. He's got the brand in golf of being who he is. But I think you're right. It could have been a pretty strategic play by them to be like, if we get Slugger, the guys love Slugger. So if we get that motherfucker over here, things could start, the dominoes could start falling. But man, Mitch, the guy literally drives around in a cart with a fucking walkie-talkie and rules on like if a drop's legitimate or not, and they're going to pay him $1 million a year, maybe way more. I don't know. That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Phil Mickelson, he's now 4 for 6 on the Champions Tour, on the Senior Tour. He, I believe, ties Jack Nicklaus as the only 2 players in PGA Tour Champions history to win 4 of his first 6 starts.
Dude, you got to ban him. You have to ban him.
No, you don't, dude. He's just fucking doing his thing, man.
It's not fair. They got to raise the age limit then.
Tell those old fucks to not get on the course then, man. He's qualifying for the age. It's not their fault or his fault that he's just more fit than the other people his age.
It's mean. You know that it's mean.
It's not mean. He's a fucking alpha male. He's an alpha male amongst a bunch of old geezers.
No, but he's beating up on people who are just way older than him.
So then stop playing then.
No. This is their turn. This is their,
It was
tour.
their tournament when they were his age also. So it's like their time's up. It's not like in there. There's young blood on tour.
The only thing that makes them worse is their age, and they can't help that.
And
he's just younger than them.
They're getting closer to that dirt pile. and Phil is abiding by the rules. They said you have to be X amount of years old. How old do you have to be on the Champions Tour? Is it 50 years old? Okay, so he's 50 years old. Is he what? Is he 51 now? Because he won the PGA Championship as a 50-year-old, but I didn't know if he turned 51.
I think he's probably because his birthday's always around U.S. Open week.
Right.
They sing to him and shit, and the U.S. Open's always like the third week in June, so he must have turned 51.
He's 51.
Yeah, so I mean, the guy's abiding by the rules. He's 51 years old. He's playing amongst other 50-year-olds, low 60-year-olds. Like at this point, like what are we doing here? We're really gonna stop this guy from playing in this tour because he's just better than everyone else.
But this is
Did they say that about Tiger Woods when he came on the PGA Tour? We got to get this guy out of here. He's too young. He's too strong. He's too hip. Did they say that about Tiger when he came onto the scene?
No, but it's different. It's different. This would be like you show up to an old people's home and you play basketball against them, and just because you're younger is the reason why you're dominating them. You're going between your legs, you're bouncing the ball off their head. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on because they're so old. And that's why Phil Mickelson is beating these guys.
Got to put a pillow over their head while they're sleeping then, dude. It's time for them to go. It's time for Grandpa to go to sleep. This is a fucking golf tournament. It's a sporting event. It's a sporting event. Who's that old fucking guy that plays? It takes him like 11 hours to finish the Masters every year.
Sandy Lyle?
Sandy Lyle. Is fucking. You're telling me that we're complaining about Phil Mickelson beating Sandy Lyle right now? The guy's suspenders keep him standing up straight. That's not fucking Phil Mickelson's fault. Phil Mickelson is out there doing the damn thing like he's supposed to be doing. He's winning. He's cashing checks.
It's mean, dude.
It's not mean, dude. It's fucking sports.
The best part is Bernhard Langer won like the season-long race again, and that motherfucker is 64 years old.
That guy's a problem, and he's been a problem for 14 years on that tour.
Dude, he shot a 63 over the weekend.
Dude, he is. You want to talk about being mean? That guy's been doing that shit for 14 years on the fucking senior tour.
Cleans up on that tour. He just dominates. He wins all the time. He is in the mix every week, and he is a machine. He's 64.
Steals their money, steals their women. He's been a problem on that tour for a long time.
How much is Phil clearing when he gets these wins? Like, is it a couple $100,000?
No, dude. Didn't we say it was basically like finishing like top 5 in a PGA Tour event?
Yeah, I want to say probably. I don't know if it's that high. My guess is 300,000 or 400,000. I'm trying to find it out right now. Charles Schwab Cup Championship money. Mickelson earned $440,000 for the victory.
Dude, it's mean.
Why is that mean?
Took that right out of the pockets of those old guys.
What does he have to finish in a PGA Tour event to make that much money? This is not mean. This is fucking economics.
Top 4, probably.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. I'm gonna look at this right now. So the payouts for Houston. Shout out to Kokrak, by the way. Big W there. He's appeared on this show, I believe, only in the background of a Pat Perez interview when they were drinking wine.
He was pouring wine for Pat Perez, yeah.
So we'll have to get him on. But yeah, you would have to finish 4th place at the Houston Open was $367,000. 3rd place is $517,000. So you'd have to finish third or 4th, which he clearly believes he's not going to do. So he just goes, cleans up, and defeats Bernhard Langer and Sandy Lyle and makes $440K.
We haven't had Kokrak on the show.
No, we did, didn't we? I was trying to think. I was actually.
Yeah, dude, we had him on
myself there too.
Yeah, we had him on the show. I remember him sitting there talking to us.
Really? I don't know about that.
You know what? I bet Jake Bass would know. I'm going to text Jake Bass right now. How do we not know?
I'm leaning no. I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
No.
I think Trent would definitely remember it.
And I'm thinking like we call him a belly guy, or I have called him a belly guy in the past, and I would have asked him if he thinks he's a belly guy.
When we had that when they were in the same, did he come on and just talk to us for like a significant amount of time during the Pat Perez one? No? He didn't come and like take the mic, and didn't Pat Perez like go to the bathroom and Kokrak came on and we just talked to him? Am I hallucinating right now?
I think you just made that up. Yeah, I think.
The thing I remember about Pat Perez and Kokrak was Perez was like, "Look out for Kokrak. He's gonna win a bunch coming up," and now he has.
Jake Bass says, outside of being with Pat Perez, no. But, which I think we all agreed on. But I think it might have been like Pat turned the camera to him for, I don't want to say a long time, but maybe 30 seconds or something. We just were like, how about this? And then.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we like
buffet bits.
Yeah, that's right. Roman. Most guys have tried different ways to last longer, but thinking about baseball doesn't always work. That's what it says right here. So sorry, baseball. A little bit of a ricochet shot at baseball. The folks at Roman, an online men's health company, changing the game with Roman swipes, the secret to longer lasting sex. Roman swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They are effective, easy to use, and fast acting. They do not require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipe's packet small enough to hide in your pocket or your wallet for whenever you will need it. They're very easy to use. You just take the swipes out of the packet, you swipe it on, let it dry, and you're good to go. Sex is cool. You want it to last longer. You don't want it to be over really quickly. You can go to GetRoman.com/Fore. Get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. Again, GetRoman.com/Fore. You just swipe these puppies on. Longer lasting sex. Everybody has fun. Everybody wins. Go to GetRoman.com/Fore. Your first month is just $5 American dollars. I guess I'm a little bit surprised about the Phil Mickelson that he even plays and win. Because remember when he played the first event, won, and we were like, he's just going to play one, have won it, be 100%, and then just move on. If you would have asked me, I feel like 5 years ago, will Phil Mickelson play on the senior tour? I think I would have been like, absolutely not. I don't know why. He just doesn't strike me as somebody that would join and play the senior tour. Well,
now he smells blood in the water. He's just like, oh, I can just go beat up on these 85-year-olds and I can win $400,000 and it's easy money for me. I would agree with you. I also thought he was going to win one and then be like, oh, I'm too good for this. I'm going to, stay on the PGA Tour for as long as I can. But then he's probably thinking, I can just keep winning. These guys stink. They're old. They're withering away. Why not just stick around and win a bunch of money every week? 4 out of 6. That is an incredible win percentage for golf.
And, I mean, I get that they're older, but, I mean, Berhard Longer's 64. He's, still doing really well. But, like, golf tournaments have a lot of people in them, even the senior tour events. And to be 4 out of 6, I don't care who you're playing. Like, if he just doesn't putt that well for, a week, like, you can't win. To win 4 out of 6 is unbelievably impressive from Phil Mickelson,
it also just
even if it's the old guys.
Right, I'm with you. It proves like what a freak Phil Mickelson actually is. Like we know that these guys are good. We know that pretty much anybody, if you're on the PGA Tour, you are a good golfer. But there is that extra level, like the guys like Phil and Tiger and DJ and Rory. Like, yeah, we can talk all we want about how good we know that they are, but they are actually like it's insane how good they are. And him going on the senior tour and winning 4 out of 6 tournaments, winning at a 66% clip. He's fucking good.
How old would you be if you were born in 1975?
40 or
51? Nope.
47? 46?
46, right? Is that right?
Really?
Why?
It's weird. No, I'm just looking at the Champions Tour. I'm looking at like their ages. 2021 Champions Tour golfers. Mark Brown was born in February 9th, 1975. I was just trying to find out these guys' ages.
Yeah, that would be 1975.
Right? That's 46, no?
That's like around when you were born, right? 75. When were you born? You were born 86. In the 80s, right? 80s. Trent? 83?
90s birthday. Ooh.
83?
83? How old do you think I am?
I don't know.
This is just proving that you can't do math.
Yeah, you went the wrong way.
89.
There you go.
1989. Speaking of 1989, Taylor Swift with her my girl that I said I wanted to have on the show came out with a new jam. Did you guys listen to the new Taylor Swift's? I mean,
no.
It's the same fucking album, but oh
no,
my god,
dude.
No,
10-minute version of All Too Well. Come on.
Listen, here's my thing about Taylor Swift, and I'm not anti-Taylor Swift in any way. The music just doesn't speak to me for whatever reason. I'm in on the hits. I love, man, I wish I could have thought of one there, but I couldn't. 22, is that one of them?
Okay. Yeah.
And then what's the whatever? I can't think of it, but
You know what song I love? Marry me, Juliet, you're never gonna be alone. I love you, and that's all I really know. I talk to your dad, go pick out a white dress. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. You know what I mean? It's a good song.
That's what
dude.
I'm talking about. You weren't, I get excited for T-Swift.
Blank Spaces, I like.
She doesn't
is that one
sing
of them?
that shit anymore, though. She's singing like Jake Gyllenhaal broke my heart and I hate his cock. Like that's like her whole album now. That's her whole album now.
But the Red album, which is the one that she re-released, has a lot of those bangers on it.
I get jealous. I get jealous when it's Taylor Swift season because I'm not as in on it as everybody else. That's what I'll say.
How cocky and how cocky is she to release that? She just re-recorded her album. She basically sang karaoke on the same weekend as Adele is releasing her album, or the same week essentially. Like, of all the times to fucking release these albums, what are we doing here? You got the two big. You would say that those are the two biggest megastars that are putting out albums this year, like by a long shot, Adele and Taylor Swift, and they're putting them out in the same week. What are we doing? There's 12 months here, right? Like, why are we doing this?
And one of them just put out she just re-recorded her own and just literally put parentheses Taylor's version, and that's the only thing.
Adele has worked on this album. I was watching a little bit of her on Oprah. Like she went through a divorce. She got into drinking. She fucking grinded on this album. It's like it's the biggest album of her life. She's saying like it's like her life story, her child growing up with split parents. It's just like, and then Taylor's like, oh yeah, I sang karaoke essentially last week, and I'm just gonna put that out in the same week, and it's gonna be the biggest album of all time.
I don't think that matters as much anymore.
Really?
Like when CDs were a thing, when people would drop on the same or similar date, like that made sense to me where it's like you're going to Sam Goody, throwback, people probably don't even know what that is. You go to Sam Goody, it's like, which CD am I going to buy? Am I going to buy Adele or am I going to buy Taylor Swift? Now, everything is streaming. The people who listen to Taylor Swift are still going to listen to Adele just as much. Like they're not making that decision about like, do I spend $15 on this or do I spend it on this? You just let it rip on your Spotify or wherever.
That's a good point, Trent. It is, but they're still taking away from like the mainstream streams, right? Like you're talking, all right, 800 million streams are going to happen for Taylor Swift over these next 7 days. But now it's like Taylor Swift and Adele are going to overlap. Somewhere, somehow, those numbers are going to get skewed because they're both within the same week of streams. Like, had it just happened 6 months and 6 months, they dominate those 6 months each. There are going to be people that have to decide between listening to a Taylor Swift song or an Adele song next week.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There is that because that happened. Well, like Donda and Certified Lover Boy, Drake and Kanye, they did a similar thing where they were almost playing chess, like who's going to drop when, and they both ended up having monster streaming numbers. But I'm sure somewhere in the middle there, like one guy decided to listen to a CLB song as opposed to a Donda song. But I think it's negligible.
I agree. I like the idea of like you used to have like a certain amount of money that you want to spend on CD, and you had to make a decision. Mm-hmm. Like one stayed in Sam Goody and one came with you in your car.
Plus, you got to go look at like CD or album covers and physically like hold it and look at the artwork or whatever they came up with. That was a really legitimately cool experience. And then you put it in your car and you would have like your other CDs and you get to put it with not even the actual CD cases, and you would like collect them like they were, again, like kind of art. That was really cool. I actually kind of miss that.
Did you see that chick that unloaded piss on that dude's face?
Oh my God. Yes.
Did you see this?
Oh my God, Riggs.
It's the most unbelievable video you've ever seen in your entire life. There's like
what are we talking about?
There's some singer on a stage and she's like, I'm going to piss on this dude's face. And everyone's like, yeah. And she's like singing and then she just pulls her pants down and the guy's sitting there. Some like older guy's just sitting there with his head up. And she just when I say unloads, I mean unloads piss all over his face for like 35 to 40 straight seconds.
For real.
And the guy he's like rubbing his head and he's like, yeah. It's like it's hitting his forehead. Garrett just put it here in the chat.
I can't find it. Yeah, okay.
It's right.
Oh, it's in
Click
the
at
chat.
your own risk.
That was a lurch move that he just did.
You know what's
All right,
fucked
this
up
is
about that video? And there's a
Rockville.
lot of things fucked up about it, but how casually all parties participated. Like, you don't think it's going to happen, and then it just does.
Bro, he's blowing out. He's blowing out.
Oh
the
my
fucking
God.
piss. He's like,
Holy shit. What is wrong with these people? What the fuck? This
Dude,
guy
it's a
loves
lot.
it.
It's a lot, too.
Oh my God.
while she's singing too. Rockville, is that who it is? Is that the band? Or is that
I don't
the
know.
singer?
I think
That's
her
one of the
name's
worst
Sophia
videos I've ever
something.
seen in my life.
KFC had a very funny Twitter thread about it. Just like the whole setup, like who gets up there. That guy fucking loved it.
And then the band afterwards, not her, the band afterwards was like, it got out of hand. We didn't think that was actually going to happen. Like, we're sorry. When it's like,
Dude, she announced
right.
to the crowd, I'm going to piss on this dude's face. Everyone's like, yeah!
wild video. Wild.
Dude.
Jesus. That was one of the more shocking things I've ever seen.
I don't know how we got on
I mean, she was letting loose. It almost
she
looked
was-
like a fountain or something, that there was like a trick up there.
She was hydrated for sure.
Funny shit, man. Really
I don't
funny
love it.
shit.
I don't love that video.
I don't know how we got on that. Oh, just like, I guess just singers.
Yeah.
Singers. Taylor Swift. Let's change to Shady Rays. Shady Rays are great, by the way. I have a couple pair down here with me. It's been perfect at Pinehurst. Shady Rays, I probably have 4 or 6 pair that I've bought at this point. It's very easy because you can use the code Fore. You get 50% off 2 or more pair at shadyrays.com. But in addition to many of our favorite styles, Shady Rays has a ton of high-quality looks that are ready made for your adventures. The craziest thing about Shady Rays is their warranty program. One of the strongest warranties in all of eyewear replacements. If shades are lost or broken for any reason, doesn't matter what happens. You could drop them in the ocean, leave them on the golf course, anything. They will replace them. Try that with your high-priced shades. See what they will do. They will probably not help you. Even with that strong of a warranty, Shady Rays still manages to make quality that I could tell you. Using them, wearing them all the time, just as good as any expensive pair I've ever worn. Polarized lenses that look perfectly clear, and they start at just $48. So you can use the code Fore. You get 50% off 2 or more pair at shadyrays.com. That's buy one, get one free. Again, you get a couple pair for just $48. They got a lot of cool styles. So do yourself a favor. Use the code Fore. Go to shadyrays.com and get yourself some multiple pair of Rays. All right, boys. I was actually, I meant to add, how many fucking albums Kenny G has sold is a shocking number, because the other, somebody was raving about the Snoop Dogg appearance on Joe Rogan last week. Mm-hmm. So I was just randomly, I was in an Uber or something, I just looked up Snoop, and he's got 23 million albums sold. Kenny G's got over 75 million. Like, that is so many albums.
75 million albums?
Albums sold.
That's like a hard number to even think about.
I have a question. How do they do albums? So they don't do albums sold anymore? Or do they?
I don't know how that works either. I have no clue, actually.
I don't know. I think it's only streaming numbers now, but then like a certain number of streams like means that's an I don't know. It's confusing now. The world's changed so much.
That's unfortunate.
It says, according to the trusted source of wikipedia.org, it says Kenny G is one of the best-selling artists of all time, with global sales totaling more than 75 million records. I guess they call it records.
Right, like it was easy back when it was just CDs, when it was like, all right, if you went gold, that means you sold 500,000 records. If you went platinum, that means you sold 1 million. Like those are numbers I can easily wrap my head around. With streaming numbers, I don't even know where, like, what the touchstone is in terms of a reference. But Kenny G's done well for himself.
75 million for our guy. Whoo! He's just so cool. I didn't expect him to be like that big. Like that's just an outrageous.
Like for here's some more context. You gave Snoop. I was looking at Eminem's numbers the other day just because we were talking about him on some show, and he sold 100 million. Like, think about the cultural impact that Eminem has had over the last couple of decades, and then Kenny G is just relatively barely behind him.
He's nipping at his heels. It's
right.
Like, holy shit.
The RIAA the Recording Industry Association of America has created a formula. 1,500 streams is now the official equivalent of a 10 single track sales or one album sale. So 1,500 streams equals one album.
See, you already lost me. Like, I don't need a formula. I wish I didn't have to use a formula.
Gold status is awarded after the equivalent of 500,000 sales. Platinum is 1 million sales. Theoretically, if an artist's single were streamed 1.5 billion times on YouTube, the whole album would be certified platinum.
Wow.
It's hard to wrap my head around.
And that's just a single, right? So, like, if
Right.
How often has fucking Justin Bieber gone platinum on YouTube?
Oh, we talked last week or a couple weeks ago, whatever, about Adele and like how I was saying that she's like massive and whatever. We got in a discussion about that. How many views do you think Adele's Hello music video has on YouTube?
Oh man, this is gonna be a big number. It's got to be a B. It has to have a B. I'm gonna guess like 1.1 billion views.
2.9 billion views.
That's a lot.
Oh my god.
2.9 billion.
Dude, we go crazy when we get like 500,000, dude. We're like, fuck yeah, that's a solid one. Like, let's go, boys. Like, making some headway. Killed it. Like, all things considered on YouTube, that's killing it. It really, I mean, they send you a plaque when you get 100,000 subscribers to your house. YouTube sends you a plaque when you surpass that.
Adele needs a
2.9 billion.
Right, Adele needs another wing in her house for all the plaques that YouTube wants to send her.
Dude, and like when I said 1.1 billion, I was being an asshole with how high I went. I thought like that's 2.9 billion. Oh my god!
What do you think the number one YouTube video is of all time?
It used to be Gangnam Style, right? Or no, it was Despacito.
Yeah, that's no longer.
Oh, I don't know. What would it be?
Baby Shark Dance.
Oh my god.
9.65 billion.
Jesus.
Despacito has 7.62 billion.
Is Gangnam Style still up there?
Gangnam Style is at 4.25 billion at 11.
Adele might beat that.
Dude, Uptown Funk is 9. The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran is fucking 4.
Huh.
Am I an idiot? What the fuck is Johnny Yes Papa?
I don't know.
Dude, I'm looking at Sheeran's Shape of You has 5.5 billion views.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is Johnny Yes Papa at 5.89 billion views? Third most viewed video on the internet. What the fuck is Johnny Yes Papa?
I don't know.
I don't know. Ed Sheeran, goddamn.
Massive Ed Sheeran. Remember when he was in Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Johnny Yes
Singing
Papa.
around a campfire.
Yeah, it's good. What the fuck is this?
I hated that Game of Thrones did that. I hated that they started throwing fucking cameos in.
Yes, Papa.
They just blew it. They blew it more than. Are you excited for the new one? The new what do they got? A prequel coming? Is that what it is?
The dragon. I am excited for that. I'm back in. Like, I saw one trailer and it was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch this now. Like, it's good stuff. And if it has nothing to do with really what happened during the actual show, I'm in. I like that world.
Yeah. Same. I'm in as well. I'm all in. I'm
How the
excited
fuck
for
does
it.
this have 5 billion views?
What is it?
It's just like it's a fucking, it's a cartoon of a little baby and a dad, and he's like, "No, Papa." It's just fucking weird, man.
I've never heard of it.
I never heard of it either.
Dude,
all right, I'm gonna go watch.
Phones, 5.8 bill.
Weird. All right.
I'm gonna go watch people play golf and try to win a golf tournament.
Okay.
Have fun. Tell everyone good luck there. We'll be back here. We got an interview tomorrow that I think people will enjoy. I think that's going to be on Thursday's show. in studio. So I know that the in studios slap different, as the kids on YouTube say.
Mm-hmm. We got to get bigger on YouTube, boys. We got fucking 5.5 billion views these people are getting for Shark Dance or whatever.
Apparently, you got to like walk around in the you got to have just like a little bait. Who'd you just look at?
Nate Dogg.
Trent has this problem. Yeah. What's going on over
I'm
there?
sitting in one. It's hard to describe if you've never been to the Barstool HQ, but I'm sitting in one of these side rooms, and it's a heavy traffic area, and I've been making eye contact with just about everybody that's walked by, and I'm trying not to do it. And I just did it with Nate Dogg. I did it with Erica about 15 minutes ago. It's just a lot.
You fail every time.
I just look up because, I just did it again. There was Nate again. I got to stop doing it. I got to get out of here.
A little reminiscent of when we were on Golf Channel and you just stared at the ground the whole time.
They were like, don't look down there. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to. And I looked down there the whole time. People were tweeting at me like, are there bugs on the floor? Why are you looking at the floor? God, fuck.
Trent spent the whole interview like this.
Fuck. I was really nervous. We were at 30 Rock. Like, we were right there by where Jimmy Fallon shoots. We went up and we saw the SNL fucking set. I was all rattled, and then I just couldn't figure it out.
It was weird because we're just in like a pretty dark, quiet room, and they give you the earpiece. There's really no noise in the actual room, except then you're just on television. It's a really weird experience.
Right. I remember thinking, like, I was a big SNL fan growing up. And I remember thinking, if I ever get to go to that set, it's going to be like this crazy experience where it's like, oh, there's all this stuff going on, and it's a circus essentially. And then you get there and you go into an office building, you go up in an elevator, and you walk into a room, and it's just there. It was very unceremonious.
Totally. So it was a letdown, I would say. Just
it was a letdown?
To a degree.
Like, being on TV is great, but the actual like, we wanted it to be theatrical, and they kind of pepper you up, maybe makeup. Who knows what the hell they were going to do, but like, we're going to be on TV. They literally were like, yeah, sit in this room, look at that red light, which Trent didn't do. And then you're just going to be on in a second. We'll put this earpiece on. So you just spoke to this earpiece basically and looked at a red light, and that was it. And then we just left.
Was the SNL set a letdown?
No, I mean, I was definitely starstruck by seeing it because you've just been seeing that for your whole entire life. But I guess when I was picturing it, I've read so much about SNL and how it's like, Chris Farley's running around like a crazy person, and David Spade's there, and Chris Rock's there. And then we saw it, and it was probably middle of the week, so there's nobody there. And you just see it, and you're like, oh, that's the thing that's on TV, that's been on TV for 50 years. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
All right, boys, I'm going to go.
All right.
Good luck with the interview tomorrow. Everybody will, I imagine, enjoy that on Thursday's show. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.